I have a normal personality type. So when the system told me I was the long-lost heiress of a wealthy family, I didn't exactly freak out. Your birth parents are favoring the fake heiress. Aren't you angry? Honestly? Not really. People get attached to pets, right? A person they raised for 18 years isn't much different. Your fiancé can't stand you. Shouldn't you be furious? That's normal too. I'd be mad if someone told me I had to marry a total stranger. Your classmates are mocking your English accent. Don't you want revenge? I hear myself talk and want to laugh. Why can't they? The system literally short-circuited. I can't handle this. Who designed a saint for this role? On my 18th birthday, my uncle dropped the bomb. I was the real heir, swapped at birth with a girl from a powerful family. On the ride to my new home, a ping sounded in my head, and the system booted up. It explained that my parents would be distant, treating me like an unwanted weed in their pristine garden. My fiancé, promised to me since birth, would loathe me and make my life miserable. I would sink into despair, get stomach cancer, and die full of regret. Only then would everyone realize their mistake and suffer for it. To rewrite your fate, become the ultimate protagonist, and dominate your family, I'll guide you every step of the way. I leaned against the car door, half asleep.
Oh,
Thanks. The system paused. Aren't you excited? This is life-changing. A cheat code. Are you, dead inside? I sighed. If you had to get up at 4 a.m. to cook, clean, slop pigs, walk to school at 6:30, skip lunch, then work 2 hours at a diner. Yeah, you want to be dead too. The system was impressed. Worthy of a protagonist. To survive all that without cursing anyone. I offered a weak smile. I had spent 16 years cursing the heavens. When I realized no one was listening, I stopped. It wasn't giving up, it was simply that I had nothing left to fight with. We chatted on and off until I dozed off. When I woke, the car was gliding through sprawling mansion grounds that seemed endless. The driver opened the door. Miss, we're home. 3 figures waited, a distinguished couple and a girl so elegant she could have stepped out of a fairy tale. The system informed me they were my parents and Phoebe, the girl raised in my place. After a slightly awkward greeting, they led me inside. The dining table groaned under an extravagant spread. My stomach growled at the roast, crab legs, and crispy chicken. After dinner, a maid showed me to my room on the 2nd floor. As soon as the door closed, I dove into the duvet. It felt like floating on clouds. Then the system exploded in my head. I am fuming. This is outrageous. Want me to zap your parents? I peeked out. Why? Didn't you notice? During dinner, they piled food on the fake heiress's plate, but ignored yours. I scratched my head. Honestly, my plate was already full. They barely spoke to you either, afraid to upset Phoebe. Also normal. I was too busy eating. Even if they'd asked, my mouth was full. The worst. Your room is tiny compared to hers. I rolled over lazily. I think it's perfect. Bigger rooms take forever to reach the bathroom. I used to sleep on a sofa. Now I had my own palace-sized room. What more could I want? Suddenly, a smell of smoke made me sit up. Is something burning? Relax. That's just my smoke. I'm fuming. I ignored the system, enjoyed a long bath, and slept from 10 to 7, feeling reborn. So, this is what it's like to be well-fed and rested. Pathetic. I tidied my room and went downstairs. The living room was empty, so I wandered outside, finding the butler watering flowers. Miss, up so early? You must have been tired yesterday, he said kindly. I sleep well. 1 hour for me is like 3 for anyone else. This is late. Around 9, breakfast was ready. My parents came down, but Phoebe was missing. She's a little sleepyhead, my father explained. Won't be up before 10:30. I happily sipped my milk and ate sweet bread, barely noticing his words.
look.
While the precious fake daughter sleeps, you've already done so much. I stayed calm. Everyone has their own rhythms. Early birds, night owls, simple. My mother noticed my trembling hand and placed a hard-boiled egg by me. Iris, did you sleep well? Need anything? Your clothes seem small. Shall we go shopping? I nodded. My father handed a credit card. For your allowance. Buy whatever you like. Phoebe came downstairs, half asleep, clinging to my mother. Mommy, my head hurts. Oh dear, you've caught a fever, my mother fretted. Phoebe's big eyes blinked plaintively as my parents fussed over her.
See?
She's manipulating them. And you're just eating. I finished breakfast calmly. Normal. Sick kids get attention. But you never had that when you were sick. True. My adoptive parents died when I was 5. I rarely got sick, and when I did, I recovered fast. I didn't need anyone hovering. With Phoebe ill, my mother couldn't take me shopping. I went alone, with the system offering fashion advice. I didn't expect this. I thought you'd go bargain bin shopping. I had already changed into my new outfit. Crisp fabric, clean lines, surprisingly elegant. Clothes really do change a person. Cheap clothes aren't always bad, and I'm not a pauper suddenly showered with cash. My parents are making a gesture. If I spent this money dressing like a scarecrow, it would just look pathetic. You're not a complete idiot. Thanks, I guess. When I returned home, a young man was lounging on the living room sofa. He looked up as I entered. Julian Croft. Male lead. Official fiancé. Arranged marriages weren't really a thing anymore, and even if they were, Phoebe had essentially been raised as the Landon heiress. They'd grown up together, a perfect pair. And me? A total outsider. Them merely disliking me was almost merciful. I was about to nod politely and head upstairs when Julian spoke first. Hello. Why is he blushing like a kettle about to boil? The system muttered. Originally, he despised you at first, thought you looked poor and tacky. Then at the birthday party, your stunning gown changed everything. The system stopped abruptly. I get it now. Get what? You're wearing new clothes. Look at you. Men are shallow. Julian cleared his throat, regaining composure. And you are? Iris. The name made his expression freeze, suddenly cold. What is with him? He flips moods faster than you turn a page. That's normal. Finding out your fiancé is suddenly someone else? Anyone would be upset. Attractive someone aside, realizing that person could upend your life? That required a moment of panic, not instant love. I wanted to tell him I had zero interest, and he and Phoebe could live happily ever after, but it wasn't my place. Just then, Phoebe's sweet voice called, Julian. She came running lightly down the stairs. Wait, what? She was feverish this morning. Now she's running around? Some people recover quickly, I said calmly. Phoebe tugged on Julian's sleeve. I'm ready. The concert's about to start. Julian glanced at me briefly, and Phoebe's face immediately became shy. Iris, do you want to come? I smiled. No, thanks. I'm not much for music. You two go have fun. What an act. Concert tickets aren't free. If you had gone, would she have awkwardly handed hers over? So fake. I chuckled at the system's constant indignation. Why do you always explode? She was just polite. Ignoring them would have been far worse. I can't stand people like that. Mind games everywhere. Relax. Not everyone flips out when their world turns upside down. You're a people pleaser. And you have a warmonger personality. Only with me. I hung up my new clothes and sat on the floor. Seriously, calm down. Your motherboard is overheating as it is. The system ignored me, so I distracted it with a riddle. What's green, fuzzy, and would kill you if it fell out of a tree? No cheating. A pool table. I feel much cooler. Thanks. You're welcome. At dinner, my parents complimented my new outfit. Iris, that dress suits you beautifully. Thanks, Mom, I said, giving the system a silent nod. With Phoebe absent, my mother sat beside me. We should get your hair done too. Such lovely hair deserves attention. I nodded. Just then, the front door opened. Phoebe burst in, shoes flying off, and hugged my mother. You look so happy, Mom said. Phoebe beamed. The koala quartet was amazing. Shame you didn't come. Next time, the 3 of us must go together, okay? 3 of them? Mom quickly added. Next time, the 4 of us will go. Iris, you've never been to a music festival either, have you? I couldn't help smiling. Sounds great. After a few days, my school enrollment was finalized. My parents arranged for me to be in the same advanced class as Phoebe to help me adjust. One morning, after breakfast and a half-hour of vocabulary study, Phoebe dashed downstairs, grabbed a piece of toast, and raced off to the car. I reviewed my flashcards during the ride. Phoebe, done with her toast, closed her eyes and ignored me. When we arrived, she said only, "Bye, Mr. Hoffman," and disappeared into the crowd. What's her problem? She's avoiding you like the plague. Probably scared someone will uncover her fake heiress act. She completely forgot that our parents had asked her to show me to the administration office. Now what? You know where to go, right? I'll manage, I said calmly, using me as your personal GPS again. The head teacher led me to the classroom. Phoebe was at the front, passing out papers. Our eyes met briefly before she looked away. I took the empty seat in the back row next to Julian, as instructed. Once the teacher left, whispers filled the room. Who's that? Transferring mid-year? No idea, but straight into A class. Must have connections. I heard she's somehow related to Phoebe Landon's family. All eyes flicked to Phoebe. She fiddled nervously with the projector, lips pressed together. Iris is a distant relative of my family, she said, hesitant. My stomach did a little flip. Snake. She's distancing herself, trying to protect her main character status. Outrageous. The system went silent. Want another riddle? I asked. No. Still, the nervous flip in my stomach had vanished. This was an international school, and the teaching style was a shock compared to my small-town classes. English was spoken entirely in English. I'd always thought my English was solid. Back home, tests focused on grammar and vocabulary. Listening comprehension? Not a thing. Speaking exams? Never happened. So despite previously scoring 142 on my English tests, I struggled to introduce myself fluently. My heavily accented self-introduction set off a roar of laughter. What was that? From Oxford to the Ozarks in one sentence. Does she have a speech impediment? I'm dying. Is she joking? She should do stand-up. Phoebe, where did your family dig up this distant relative from? Ow. What the? The student yanked off his headphones and examined them, finding nothing wrong. Serves him right, the system muttered. Anyone else need a zap? Oops, maybe all of them. Before I could intervene, shouts of ow and what filled the classroom, including the poor teacher. My bad, the system said, a hint embarrassed. Maybe a tad too much voltage. The teacher, worried about another disaster, confiscated the headphones. I sat at my desk, barely containing my laughter. You can laugh after that. I replayed my introduction in my head. The accent was thick, like a goat with a head cold from my village. I quietly shook with amusement. Who laughs at themselves like that? The system asked. Suddenly, someone tapped my shoulder. Hey, a low voice said, don't cry. If you want, I can tutor you later. I looked up Julian. He froze mid-gesture. You're not crying? Why would I? He frowned. Weren't you? Never mind. He turned away, pretending to sleep. That evening, I practiced pronunciation with an audio guide. The system interrupted. Wrong. Where? It pronounced the word perfectly. I repeated it. Press the back of your tongue down. I tried several times. How? Suddenly, I felt a distinct pressure on my tongue. Here. Press it down. My face turned bright red. Say it again. All focus on phonetics vanished. I could only think, how can you touch me? It's normal. Your world is code. I'm higher level code. Physical manifestation isn't hard. Why are you blushing like a teapot? I covered my face. Please, just stop. With the system's help, I quickly located the correct tongue placement and mastered the nuances of English pronunciation. After a few weeks of one-on-one sessions, my teacher praised my quantum leap in fluency. Private lessons all along. How will you thank me? What do you want? Can I buy in-game items or something? Shallow. You're already oozing money after just a few weeks in this world. I sighed. Then what? Anything I can give, it's yours. The system paused. I haven't decided. Then why ask? A crackle of static buzzed in my head. Did you just lose your temper? Of course not. I'm just naturally blunt. Excellent. Finally something other than that's pretty normal. You're learning to curse. After dinner, my parents called Phoebe and me into the study. I stood in front of the desk while Phoebe perched on my father's chair arm. My mother patted the sofa next to her for me. Tomorrow is your birthdays, she began. Your father and I want to make an announcement. Phoebe stiffened, but my mother gave her a reassuring glance before turning to me. She held my hand. Iris, I raised Phoebe since she was a baby. She's not my biological daughter, but I love her. At tomorrow's party, we'll announce your identity, but also tell everyone you're fraternal twins. Is that okay? I patted her hand. Of course. We're supposed to be family. After leaving the study, the system erupted. Real versus fake. What is this? A grand reconciliation? They're placating you. You're still stuck in a room, a third of hers. I pulled a photo album from the closet, pictures of me with my adoptive parents. Cameras were rare back then, but in 5 short years, they filled an album just for me. Phoebe had my parents' love, and I had hers. She never had her own. In a way, she lost out. TSK. Your logic fits a novel protagonist surprisingly well. The next morning, makeup artists arrived for party prep. One is the spitting image of her mother, one artist said, staring at our reflections. Phoebe must take after her father? Phoebe froze. My mother quickly intervened. They resemble us in different ways. Right, the artist agreed. Both stunning. After makeup and gowns, we still had an hour. I hid in my room to snack. The jade bracelet would match the dress better. I waved her off. Eating is priority. Changing one thing would require everything to change. This is fine. You don't think eating is trouble? If eating is trouble, what's the point of living? A knock on the door revealed Julian. Why is he here? I leaned against the frame. Can I help you?
No.
You look really beautiful today. I smiled. Thank you. He fidgeted, then handed me a small box. Happy birthday, and bolted. Inside, a large, brilliant emerald gleamed. The system scanned the emerald the moment I opened the box. Return that thing.
Why?
It looks expensive. It is. And not just slightly. The system sounded unusually grave. Julian's grandmother bought that at an auction as an heirloom for her future granddaughter-in-law. And this boy sneaked it out to give to you as a birthday gift. What is he thinking? A second later, it was ranting. Iris, when did you get close to him behind my back? Why is he giving you something like this? He was supposed to be pining after Phoebe. Is he trying to romance both sisters? I'll return it later. The system sputtered.
Oh, well.
Yes, that is acceptable. I suppose since he is the male lead, eventually the two of you will. I crunched through my last piece of snack. I'm not interested in any of that. I don't care about male leads. I never wanted to be the heroine anyway. I'm perfectly fine being ordinary. No ambition at all. I shrugged. If everyone is the main character, who would fill the background? Most people are NPCs, someone has to create the contrast. Before the system could argue, someone knocked. Phoebe stood there with a forced smile. Iris, Mom wants us downstairs. Ready? I smoothed my dress and followed her out. At the top of the stairs, she suddenly blocked my way. Trap incoming. I tried to step back, but Phoebe grabbed my wrist, panic twisting her features. Why did you come back? Because my parents picked me up. Your parents are dead, she blurted, eyes glassy. So, now you want to steal mine? Aren't you ashamed? Fantastic logic.
Truly.
DNA has nothing on her imagination. I kept my voice soft. I'm not trying to take anyone from you. A line popped into my mind, corny but fitting. I came to join this family, not split it apart. Phoebe froze, thrown off for a heartbeat. Then, what about Julian? Going to steal him too? I patted her shoulder.
Relax.
I don't want him. But he gave you the emerald. I was literally walking downstairs to give it back. No, she insisted wildly. He gave it to you because he wants you to be Mrs. Croft. But I don't want to. I groaned. It doesn't work like that. I'm not interested, all right? You can have your romance in peace. Voices drifted up from the entrance as guests arrived. Phoebe's muttering turned frantic. I won't let you take everything I care about. She stepped back, misjudged the edge, and tumbled. The doors opened below, and she fell right in front of everyone. And since I had reached out to stop her, it looked like I shoved her. I stared down the staircase. I was doomed. Relax, the system said. I shielded her. She's perfectly fine. She's unconscious. She's pretending. Give me a moment. A sharp yelp pierced through the murmuring crowd. Phoebe sprang upright, clutching her backside like she had sat on a cactus. I hurried down while she clung to Mother, eyes watery, pride shattered. Every time she tried to drop limp again, the system zapped her. After 2 attempts, she didn't dare faint anymore. Mother kept touching her face. Are you sure you're all right? Should we call a doctor?
No.
I'm fine, Phoebe squeaked, terrified she'd get zapped again. She looked like she believed heaven itself was warning her. Mother finally asked, puzzled, How did you fall? Phoebe hesitated. I'm not completely sure. Mother turned a suspicious gaze on me. I pointed up. There's a security camera there. It probably caught everything. We don't need to watch it, Phoebe blurted. She clutched Mother's arm. I tripped, that's all. The party's starting. Mother let it go, but her expression said she'd figured things out. Without a word, she pulled me into a warm hug. "Happy birthday, sweetheart," she whispered, full of apology. After my identity became public, my classmates stopped mocking my accent in English class.
I didn't rely on that, though.
With the system's non-stop drilling, my English improved fast. When the school held its New Year's gala, our class voted to perform Romeo and Juliet in English. Julian was an obvious Romeo. For Juliet, the votes tied between Phoebe and me. Julian finally stood and said, "I get a vote too." He hadn't spoken to me since I returned the emerald, which I thought meant he'd vote for Phoebe. "I vote for heiress." The room went silent. Phoebe burst into tears and ran out. I buried my face in my hands. "Why, universe?"
Why?
After class, I tried reasoning with him. "Julian, you and Phoebe should play the leads." "I'm terrible at acting." He lifted his chin.
So am I.
"Then we should both back out. It's torture for everyone if we both stink on stage." He hit the wall with his fist. "Iris, if you don't like me, just tell me. You don't have to make excuses. Say the word, and I'll never bother you again." "I don't like you." He blinked. "Say it again." "I don't like you." Julian dropped into a crouch, tears splattering onto the floor. "You don't like me," he choked. "But we're still engaged. We're going to turn into one of those tragic couples with no love, no spark, just suffering. Please." His brain was stuffed with melodrama. Not melodrama. Cheap romance paperbacks. The system snorted. I patted his shoulder. "Look on the bright side. We're not getting married. I don't like you. I won't date you, and that engagement should probably disappear." He let out a heartbroken wail. "Stop rubbing it in." I wisely said nothing. After a minute, he sniffed.
Fine.
"Let me act as your lover on stage just one time. Then I'll let you go. It's my only request. Just don't tell me to go chase Phoebe." I sighed. All right. On the night of the performance, we waited and waited. Julian didn't show. Just as the cue lights blinked and our moment threatened to slip away, a hand appeared before me. I looked up. The figure was tall, dressed as Romeo, eyes sparkling with mischief. "My Juliet," he said, voice smooth and familiar. "Shall we?" It was the system. I took his arm and whispered, "Do you even know the lines?" He snorted. "Lines? I've rehearsed with you every single day. There's no one alive who knows Romeo better than I do." His confidence was infectious. We strode onto the stage, reciting lines like two completely unpolished actors. The audience was merciless. We were booed off almost immediately. Backstage, we crouched together in an empty corner, still catching our breath. "How did you become human?" I asked. "I always was," he replied casually. Then he explained. He'd originally been a villainous supporting character from another story, so profane and chaotic that every system the main brain sent to reform him ended up corrupted. Frustrated, the main brain had assigned him to me, the ultimate saint, as a challenge. "And then I failed," he said with a shrug. "I actually started thinking the things you said made sense." I paused. "I think I failed too." "When?" "Probably from the start. In the original story, I was supposed to suffer, despised and unloved, until despair killed me. And yes, if I had been alone, I probably would have. I was hurt by my parents' favoritism, frustrated by Phoebe's hostility, and worn down by classmates' mockery. But I had endured for so long that suffering had become invisible. With the system, though, it was different. He amplified all my frustration and flung it into the world, leaving me calm and lighthearted for the first time. "So, how long can you stay like this? Human?" I asked. "Forever." "And the main brain will allow it?" He fixed me with a serious look. "Remember the promise you made?" I nodded. "Miss Iris," he said formally, "will you allow System 007 to remain in your world, permanently?" My heart skipped a beat. Who am I answering? "The main brain," he said, gaze tender and steady. "You are the core of this world. You can ask anything of it." He inhaled. "Do you want me?" I was silent. My heartbeat thundered in my chest. Then I heard my own voice. "I do. I want you." The system's eyes gleamed. "Bingo. Your wish is granted." From somewhere behind us came a shout. "Who the hell took my Juliet?" The system grabbed my hand, grinning.
Quick.
"Let's go climb a wall." And with that, we disappeared, laughing into the night.